Hi guys, this is Hasi from Hezico, and today we're going to be solving another problem from Upwork. It's a pretty straightforward problem where the client wants to create a workflow where the AI communicates and books appointment for them. We're going to simplify this and create a CRM for them using Google Sheets. We're going to have a conversation with them with the AI, book the appointment, update our CRM, and that's all what we're going to be covering in this video. So let's get started. First, we'll go to N8N and we will use a chat trigger. What this will give us is basically a whole flow where we can chat with the AI agent. So we can say, hi there, welcome to our business. Let's book your call. Now, once this is on production, when we turn this flow on, this is the first message that will go to the user. For our case, it's not going to do that. We're just going to say hi, and it's going to work based on that. So let's add an AI agent, AI agent, and let's use an agent. Okay, so we're going to take the prompt from the user from the chat block, and we want to add a system message which tells the user what we want. Okay, so we will say you are a AI assistant that books calls for us, right? We're going to specify the job, your job, have a natural conversation, collection to collect, name, phone, address, and service type, and preferred time. So this is the information that we're going to collect from the user, and we're going to give it as many details as we can, right? When you have all the information, calculate a realistic price. So we're going to use this information about based on the service that we have, and then we're going to calculate a price for that. Present the quote and ask if they want to book. If yes, confirm the booking. Okay, so then when the booking is confirmed, respond. So we're going to give it, we will tell it with what we need in the output. Respond in this format exactly. And then we're going to take the name and name. Okay, so this is what we're going to get as the output. We can also use the specify the output format, but we can use this as well. So it's based on what we need from the AI. So address, service, price, then we'll say timing, price, timing, and end booking. Style, let's give it a conversation style. Keep it friendly and professional. Ask one question at a time. So we can run this directly, and what will happen is it won't get the memory of the conversation, right? So for that, we have to specify a memory for this instance as well. So let's connect our AI model first. Once this is connected, now let's specify the memory. We can use a simple memory in this case, and we can keep a context window of 10. So it's going to keep 10 past interactions in mind. This is the memory used by N8N. It's virtually created, so we don't have to manage anything else. And when we are using this, we don't have to worry about setting an external source. Professionally, I would recommend setting up an external source where we can get data from the model itself to basically generate messages in our tone. But if for this case, for this video, we don't have to do that. So once that's done, we can run this flow and we will see that we'll get the messages. Okay, so it wants our name. So let's give it my name. Okay, now it wants my phone number, which will I say 123456790. And for the address, let's say London, Covent Garden. I think it's gonna process it. If not, it's going. Yep. What other service do you require? Two-seater cleaning. Code to help me get so date I can say 13th September, and time I can say 10 a.m. Okay, so it has generated us a code, and now it's gonna ask us if we want to book the appointment. We can say yes or no. If we say no, it's not going to do that. If we say yes, it's going to do that and then process. Okay, so we can come here and we can now clean the response up, right? We can see that we get all of this as a response. So we can use regex to basically clean this up. So we can say name match equals output dot match. Oh, we can have to specify the output. So we can say, or we can just say const output equals, take this, drag this here, and now we can say const name match equals output dot match, and it's going to take in the name, and we're going to say everything next to the name should be covered. So basically we're using regex to extract everything. So for everything we can just say this, and this will give us everything that we have extracted, that we have gotten from the AI, right? So we can say return and JSON, okay, semicolon, and then we can say timestamp. So this is the time that we are getting the data from, data to ISO string. Then we can say client name equals name match. Then we can say, oh, I need to stop putting semicolons on. Phone match of client phone. We can say phone match, and we can just pretty much do the rest for this as well. I'm just going to copy and paste it from my notes. Okay, so we'll get the timestamp, we'll get the client name, the client phone address, the client phone, the price, the timing, the service type, and status. And we can execute the step to see that we basically get what we need. So now we need to double check why we aren't getting the timing and stuff. Okay, so timing match is timing September 3rd, and booking price. We want to double check. So if you notice the JSON that we're not getting the phone, the address, and the timing. So we need to double check why is this not working. Name, address. So we can just do that. Okay, so we have the name, we have the address, we have the timing as well. We don't have we have the price, and we also have the service, but we don't have the client phone number. So we need to go in here. Let's specify the output so that we get this properly. We can say structured output pressure. So generate a JSON from the example. Okay, so we can say name equals, or we can say name and And I think we can just say what we did over here, but we can pass it in as a JSON, right? Let's try that. And let's do this, just to structure it as a JSON, and the name, and we can wrap these into, okay, we can't do that. Name and phone, okay, name, phone. For the address, for this we need to add commas here as well. And we can I really need to okay, so service. Okay, what's the problem here? Okay, we're gonna fix this as well. We're just gonna say name to name, phone to phone, address to address, service to service, price to price, and timing to timing. Okay, so we have specified our output in this structure so that we can get everything properly. This is just a double check to see if everything is working for us or not. Okay, so we're gonna run this again, and I think it's gonna use the memory that it has to give us. There we go. So we have the name, the phone, the timing, and the pricing. So we don't even have to use that. I think we can just skip this block even, and we can directly update our Google Sheet now. So we go to Google Sheet. Let's first create a new Google Sheet. Let's call it a appointment CRM, and let's specify the columns, right? So for our case, we have name, phone, address, service, price, and timing. So we'll say name, phone, address, service, timing, price. Service, address, yep. And we can say Google Sheets, create spreadsheet, append, or update a row. And so like say append a row, and sheet within a document, append a row. Let's say could not. Oh, okay, let me just check my OAuth. Nice. We have to double check our OAuth now. Okay, this does happen when you basically use different tunnels. So I think it's just like my tunnel got changed. So I'm gonna try a direct sign in. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then we're just gonna redo our. So we're gonna just go to clients. These are the problems that do come up when you're working with the local instance that's hosted on a tunnel. And I am pretty lazy when setting these things up. I could set up something that could update properly, but for some reason I just don't want to do that. So we run into these problems. So let's try again, and we can now log in. So when you click the sign in button, you get a pop-up, and with that pop-up, you can basically just sign into your Google account and just need to double check things. So that way, yep. I don't know why it does that, to be honest. You can also use the service account. That way you just bypass all of this, but it's like I'd rather just do the quicker thing than do this, and I'm still getting a URI mismatch. Okay, so let's fix this problem really quickly. Close, and let's save this before we do anything else. Let's go into personal and credentials, and let's just remove our Google Sheets credentials. Again, if you're using the N8N, that's the paid version, you don't run into these problems because they automatically set these things up for you. Okay, so I didn't mean to do that. We're going to create a credential, and we're going to say sheets. And for some reason, I don't know why they don't have a singular OAuth for all the Google services. They should have that. For some reason, they don't. Okay, client secret, copy, paste, and sign in. Oh, I also have to save this. Okay, let's hope it works. Okay, let's sign in again. Great. Let's try this again. Continue. Continue. Great. Now that we're connected, let's go back to our workflow. I think this is the one. Yep. Okay, so we come here, we check our Google Sheets account, then we say AI. Oh, I think it was appointment CRM. We get the first sheet, we map automatically. We can, okay, I'm just gonna save this for some reasons. Okay, let's try again. Map columns automatically. Okay, weird. Map automatically execute previous nodes. Okay, I think we'll have to do the whole process again. So let's do that. Let's say hi to the chat. And what model output doesn't require fit the required format. That's weird. Define using schema. Okay, let me just do that and we'll just do this. I think with that we will have to define types, but we can try again. AI output does not fit the requirements. Okay, we can just turn this off. We can try again. Okay, double checking. Okay, so it got what we had set from the memory, and I think it updated our CRM. Hi there. Okay, I think it just updated it directly without us trying to do that, which we don't want. Okay, so this is not what we need. We basically have to, yep, and we come back manually. Am I in the right? Yep, I am in the right sheet. For some reason, it just doesn't want to. Oh, okay, so it's using this as that, which we don't need. Let's create a new memory. For some reason, it just doesn't want to do that. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so I figured out what the problem was. What was happening was on each loop. So whenever we sent a message saying hi or our name or our phone number, it will go through the process and then it will go through. Even though the reason it was able to cycle through was because of the memory, but it wasn't able to stop the output. So for that, we had to add an if statement. In the if statement, I said if the string includes booking confirmed, that means this cycle is completed and we can now update our CRM. But if it wasn't, we had to respond back to chat. So using this loop, we were able to solve the problem that we were having. Now let's start and let's see if this works. So hi. So as you can see, the booking isn't confirmed and we come back to the AI agent. My name is Hasib. Could you, okay, so this is my number, address, Covent Garden, London. I would like a sofa cleaned. Okay, so it's a two-seater. It's gonna get as much information as it can from us. Saturday, 10 a.m. Yes. Okay, so when we said yes, that means the booking was confirmed and it went through. Now we can see what the output is, and then if it is in, okay, so it's a string that we have to again use regex to break into pieces into and store it in a JSON. I was having problem with the output block that we can add here. So that's why I think it's the simpler way to do this if I use this. But if I have to see how the output pressure works so that we can use it and skip this step. So if we execute, we can see our timestamp. Everything that we need is now in the JSON. Now let's update our sheet. So sheet, and we can say update a row in sheet. Appointment CRM is the name, and the sheet is sheet 1. and we'll okay, so now we can just take client name, client phone, address, service type, timing, price. We can also add the status and the timestamp, and we can just execute the step to see if our CRM is updated or not. There we go. So we can see our CRM is updated. Now we can also add like a chat response. Okay, respond to chat, respond to chat, and we can say your booking is confirmed. So we can build on top of this. We can also create calls, we can send SMSs, we can send an invoice by generating an invoice. We can create a whole system around this. This was pretty much the high level explanation and high level solution to this problem. And yeah, that wraps it up. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments, and I will love to see any suggestions that you have. If you want me to solve more complex problems, I know I've been keeping it really simple, but if you want me to solve complex problems, just let me know and I'll move towards more complex topics.